Welcome back to Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones. For me, I've had to replay chapters 5 and 5X because I was an idiot and overwrote my old save files due to the way that restore points work. That was annoying. But I hopefully have got here fast enough for chapter 6, Victims of War. So, you'll notice some differences in stats on my characters compared to after chapter 5 previously. And yes, we're back to Erica now. So, just to quickly point this out, I'm gonna have to go manage items anyway, because, yeah, this was the attempt where I disarmed Seth, so he's gonna need to take his stuff back. Let's see, there's his silver lance, and let's just take his steel sword. And as much as people might frown upon this, I actually am going to be using Seth in this next chapter. He just helps in taking out some annoying reinforcements. Let's see, you're going to put that dragon shield in the convoy. Do I have a spare steel lance on it? Not steel, iron lance on anyone. I might not bring Moulder to this chapter, so I might as well grab that. Vanessa may need a little bit more power for something she has to do in this chapter. Actually, Franz has 2 iron lances anyway. I'm, again, probably not going to be using Gilliam, so it's fine. You need to get that extra elixir, because I didn't trade that over in this file. And let's see, Joshua needs to... I made sure to buy an extra steel sword just to make sure that I'd have exactly the same items I had last time, because Joshua actually uses steel swords fairly well. And that should be everything when it comes to... Alright, you put that in the convoy because we don't need that yet. And I'm actually going to have you take out one of the pure waters. Oh, the torch. Yeah, someone should carry the torch. Let's... You know what? I'm going to have Seth carry it. For now, at least. The pure water might actually kind of help here. So, Natasha leveled up that last map, and she actually got a pretty good one at that. That heal staff is really running low, though. This is what Franz is looking like. Vanessa, she leveled up once, I guess. Loot. Ross, I don't think leveled up nearly as much as he did in the last attempt. And here's Joshua. He still gained 1 point of strength, which is good. So with that out of the way, I was originally dreading this next chapter. And then I realized I was a complete idiot, and I forgot about something that makes it much, much easier. If you enter the shop from the world map at Seraphim, not inside Chapter 5, but in the world map, and I guess it does make sense they sell better items now, because now they don't have Grado's oppression. They sell this thing right here, the Torch Staff, only 100 gold too. This thing is completely useless outside of Fog of War, but in Fog, it's really invaluable, and you want at least one before going into the next chapter. And funny thing is, I'm just going to play this as safe as possible and do a double torch strategy by using 2 healers, and I'm going to go ahead and buy another heal staff, just so that Moulder can actually do stuff when he's not torch staffing. I'm also going to go ahead and buy another fire tome for loot, because even though her current tome will definitely last her for this next chapter, I'll probably need to get her one before chapters 7 and 8 anyway, so might as well buy it now. With that though, I think we're pretty much done on items here. The armory sells the same kind of things that it did before, it's only the shop's inventory that's been upgraded significantly. Do I have any important items in my convoy, like in terms of weapons? Nope, pretty much nothing, actually. So, now it's time to head out to Atlas Plains. Who we know is... Well, I was about to say fine, but at the moment he's probably not fine. So yeah, now we've officially crossed the border and we're actually going into Grado. Enemy territory this early in the game. Which always fails in Fire Emblem. You can never avoid unnecessary trouble. Yep. It's time for the chapter that probably has the most significant story changes from the beta version. Though that's mainly only noticeable because the beta version, this is about where the story stops. It pretty much doesn't have cutscenes from here on. But there are some significant plot changes from the beta version that I want to talk about here, because they're pretty interesting, I find. So we have a mysterious hooded man. Well, not exactly mysterious, it's just a feature of his class, I guess. So we're walking right into a trap. Even the people in universe know how broken Seth is. Oh, you say that now. Oh, I wonder what that could be. Yeah, clearly saying what he really thinks of this guy. But... yeah, this is the underling with ambitions. There's really no love lost here, because Reaver's a horrible person and he pretty much deserves to be backstabbed. But this guy is also a pretty horrible person. We actually don't really know. It seems like someone on the enemy team had a warp staff. And yep, they know about the bracelet. It seems this is pretty significant. Seth knows, but he still isn't telling. So, yeah, another random ambitious villain here. Well, we don't exactly have anyone's word on that but your own, and don't think we can trust you. To be fair, though, the Grotto did have a traitor on their side. Things probably would have gone differently if they hadn't. But then there's this. You know, I said this guy's a pretty horrible person? Yeah, this is why. That seems going a little bit too far. I mean, we know what happened the last time someone was requested to do that in Fire Emblem back in FE4. It was just so the enemies could slaughter them more easily. So, this dialogue kind of feels a bit out of nowhere, and there's a good reason for that. So, this is pretty horrible already. But in the beta version, if you knew what happened there, you'd consider this merciful. In the beta version, after Erica handed over her bracelet, this guy just executed the hostages anyway. They just outright died. You had no chance to save them. Oh yeah, words will not save them, but Vanessa might. Remember how I said earlier that Vanessa is pretty much required for a lot of secondary objectives early on? This is why. This is pretty much the time for Vanessa to shine here. So we've got a family here, and we need to rescue them. Like I said though, you didn't even have that chance in the beta version. He just killed all 3 of them right there. So, as you can see here, we've got Fog of War. Fog of War is a pretty annoying mechanic in the series for one main reason. Enemies aren't affected by it at all. The AI can see exactly where you are at all times, and doesn't need to scout you out in order to find you. So this is a defeat boss map. The boss is about here, around this area. It's kind of easy to tell because of the terrain. And here are the 3 Renee's Sits. And remember back when Seth was saying that the Revenants are the equal of any normal man? This is probably what he was talking about. So this is what your average civilian looks like in terms of stats. Pay attention to their con though, especially this guy. Not everyone is able to carry him effectively. We do have quite a bit of time before the spiders come though. It's not until about turn 6 that we need to be worried. But something about Fog of War is that thieves have an increased vision range. Most characters, I believe, yeah, they can only see 3 spaces. Thieves can see much, much further, like 7 or something. So, here's a funny trick you can do. You can swap Column around on the screen just to scout ahead in the Fog of War a little bit for free. Unfortunately, doing this, there's only one enemy that we can see, and it's that one soldier over there. We're going to need to find better ways of clearing the fog. For now, though, I'm going to have Column go down there. It's imperative that Vanessa start as far downward as possible so she can reach these 3 as fast as she can. And Ross is actually going to be her kind of bodyguard. She's going to pick up Ross and then run, and drop him off around here because there are some enemies that are positioned to ambush Vanessa once she gets there. They wouldn't leave the hostages unguarded after all. As for everyone else, let's see, Franz can go there. Alright, and I'm going to need to kick out Gilliam. Sorry, Gilliam. And put in Joshua. And move him to around here, I guess. Yeah, I'm actually fine with Moulder being around there. I'm going to swap Seth up there, because Seth, I mainly want him to stay around the beginning part of the map, but there's some enemies up here that I might want him to fight too. This formation looks pretty decent, so I think I'll go with this. I actually quite like the Fog of War theme in this game. It just sounds so, I guess, dire is the word. So, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the Torch Staff. The cool thing about the Torch Staff is it's long ranged. I'd actually forgotten about that when I was practicing. So you choose a tile to light up, and that tile will reveal a huge area surrounding it. So this gives us a much better chance. Now we know that there are enemies hiding here, and we know exactly how far they can move. If we charge into this fog without even thinking, that would be bad. There's also this guy. He has a halberd. You want to keep Franz away from that thing. Even Seth is kind of at risk from that, actually. So, there's a good variety of enemies, though, particularly this cluster here of a sword, an axe, and a lance. It makes it a bit hard to cover that, and there's another cluster here, too. The enemies are pretty well balanced in these areas, which is definitely a bad thing at this point. Like, for example, if I had Joshua go there, he might be able to take on some of the enemies, but if he crit all of them, that'd actually be a really bad thing. So, let's see what's best to do here. There are also these two. And these forests really do a number on cavalry movement, which will be a good thing later on, but not now. Sorry, just checking. Right. Okay, this could end very badly, but it's only turn 1, so I guess I won't lose that much progress if I fail here. That weighs him down less than the Armor Slayer, miraculously. So I'm also going to have Ross go down there. Vanessa will grab Ross and then run as far as she can, while also not going in range of the enemies. And Colin will go down here to make sure that Vanessa can always see the path ahead of her. Because like I said, there are some tricky enemies waiting to ambush her. And Moulder is going to use my second torch staff up here. This is kind of why I like 2 torch staffs, so I can cover both ends of the map at once. Because from here we can see there's an archer there, who sometimes I can lure with a javelin, but I'm not really going to do that this time. 2 cavaliers up here. One of them has an iron blade, which is a bit stronger than your usual sword. But here, like I said, I'm actually going to have Seth handle them. I hate to waste the silver lance on small fry like this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And now we're going to need all hands down here, because I want to take these enemies out before they become too much of a threat. Erica will just stay behind a little bit. Because I don't know if he's visible yet. There is a shaman down there, which are dark magic users. That was a nice dodge. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, that's the reason why I brought the pure water. That shaman can be quite annoying if he finds you and you're not expecting him. Because, yeah, you've got a lot of physical enemies down here, so you'll probably send physically tanky units, and suddenly there's a dark magic user jumping at you out of nowhere. Yeah, Seth is, well, I mean, he didn't gain speed, but even still. Mainly using him here just to take out some enemies, because they like to flank you in this chapter. You'll definitely see that later on. Oh, I'm hurting from those 4 uses of that silver lance, but I guess it killed some enemies. So, now that Joshua can reach the forests, he should have a much easier time. Although, sending Franz there might be better because he's a bit more defensive. Yeah, even with the terrain bonus, Joshua's only has a 48% chance of dodging those lances. And okay, I should probably use a torch staff, pop a torch staff use again here. For a certain reason. And that's also unfortunate. I don't like exposing France to that, but... okay. Let's just try this and see if I can find that shaman. I really don't like that guy. He has ended a lot of practice runs when I've... There he is, right there. This guy. This guy. And yes, he can reach that spot. Okay, then. Right. Yeah, that is really, really worrying. Actually... Franz can finish you off. That may not be a bad idea. And you notice the 2% crit there? Mercenaries with their high skill, they're pretty prone to fluke criticals like that. This is why people with good luck like Ross are useful, because they completely negate that chance. Okay, good. You are out of range in case anything bad happens there. I kind of want to go for the... Let me just... Okay, loot is definitely going to double you. 14 attack, and you have 2 resistance, so you take 12 times. Yeah, that's not enough to one-round you, so I'm going to need to go for Joshua here. And nice one! So yeah, the 1 crit there saves him from potentially getting hit, so he's in a slightly better position now. Even if it did mean that he uses a weapon that's a little more valuable. And let's see. Yeah, I'm not luring many of these other guys just yet. So loot... I like to have loot kill those guys because in my previous attempt at this chapter, which was using my other file, so stats may be different, loot was able to one-round both of them, but I guess we'll find out whether or not that's true here. Also, getting this village. I'm not really sure why there's a village here. There are never any bandits in this map, so this village is at no risk of being destroyed, but I guess it's here. It's basically to tell you that the giant spiders... Yes, there are giant spiders in this chapter, by the way. We just haven't seen them yet. They can poison you. We already stole an antitoxin. And then there's this line. I forgot about this line. Yeah, because that's a great consolation. Anyway. I already stole an antitoxin earlier, but I guess having one here isn't that bad. I'm pretty sure poison can't kill you in this game. It can just lower you to 1 HP. Now that I've cleared this area, I'm going to have Seth go back here and wait for some things to appear. Haven't really shown the torch. The torch isn't quite as useful as the torch staff because the range of its light is only centered around you rather than where you want it to be. So if it can light up a bit more. It's also good for experience. Torch staffs are pretty nice to spam in fog chapters for experience. Whoa, yeah, that lit up a lot. Oh yeah, something that I didn't mention. The light from the torch staff goes down by 1 every turn, just like the actual torch item. And I don't know if anyone else here is going to move at all. That is... Holy crap, wow, Joshua's being amazing. 10 strength this early on Joshua, but that's 2 out of 3 level ups. That's really good. Oh yeah, that troubadour likes to move forward for some reason. She can't really do much, but she will try to heal the other ones. And yeah, I said before that I know that the enemy has generic troubadours. This is why. Okay, you are a lance cavalier. And I forgot about you, so yeah, I'm going to have Seth back there to take you out. This guy's got a poison axe. This guy is, again, there just to heal. That guy has the halberd. And that guy has a javelin. You need to watch out for enemies that have javelins. Alright, you can reach there. That's not the best thing in the world. However, the shaman can't reach over there. So the thing about this chapter that can make it annoying sometimes is that the mantra here is hasten slowly. You have to be slow and cautious around this fog, but you need to quickly rescue these 3. Like I said, you've got until about turn 6 before they're at any serious risk, but once you get to that point, it can be difficult to save them. Okay, that guy. Because you see, sometimes that guy, I'm able to make sure Ross kills him. I'll see if I can do that, actually. Although first... Gonna make Column scout ahead as much as he can. Okay, can't see anything out there. There are some enemies around here. That's what I'm kind of worried about. Ross is excellent for taking them out, though, so... Okay, so... Okay, there's Ross. Right, and he has the hatchet equipped. That's good. Unfortunately, I won't be able to switch his equipment the moment that I drop him, so... I was banking on him having the hatchet equipped, and this turned out to be true, which is good. Oh, and you can get to Vanessa anyway. Well, she's got the javelin equipped. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to double her. Dark magic is pretty heavy. Okay, idea. Possible idea. I doubt that guy will be able to hit Joshua if I do that. But I do need to be ready. Actually, yeah, let's try and get some support points. And, you know, I'll just use a torch staff here. Always good for more experience. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to reveal a couple more enemies. Yes, I am! Ah, that guy! Yeah, that guy has ruined a lot of my plans as well in the past. This is the guy that I was talking about that I like Ross to take out. Okay, good, he can't reach Vanessa. He's got a javelin and also a horse slayer. Thankfully, Pegasi don't count as horses in this game, so it's not effective against Vanessa. It was only Awakening and I'm pretty sure Fates where they lumped them all into the Beast category, then, yeah. Now, Moulder, I'm gonna have to make sure that he stays close to everyone else now, because there are gonna be some reinforcements coming from the rear soon. Hello there, Mr. Kling Kling. Just referencing what my actual username comes from. For those who haven't seen my my Awakening Voice meme video. It's just a little in-joke from when me and my sister were kids, but my channel username comes from what I called this sound that Armor Knights made when they were walking, when I was that young. Now, what's that Shaman gonna do? I'm gonna have to pay attention to this, because he could try going for Ross, or he could go for Joshua. Once again, it depends whether the AI feels like going for no counterattacks or maximum damage. Though in this game, so far, I've found it's almost always maximum damage. You'll notice here that Seth is actually getting decent experience. Oh, he's actually going for no counterattacks, huh? It's kind of weird. But like I was saying, you'll notice here that Seth is gaining a lot more experience from kills than he was at the start of the game. Yeah, Seth doesn't really suffer from that whole stealing experience Jagan meme. And yeah, there are a lot of Cavaliers coming from here now. But yeah, his experience is pretty decent at this point. So yeah, using him for the whole game is actually a good idea. Which is why it's generally frowned upon. That sounds kind of weird, but I hope it makes sense. So yeah, several Cavaliers come from behind. These ones, some of them have javelins. In fact, yeah, 2 of them have javelins. And this is why I wanted to make sure Moulder got away. And this is also why you need to clear out some of these enemies here and clear a path. Speaking of clearing a path, Ross has done a very good job of that at this point. Ross could potentially go here, though. Kill that guy. He will end up getting attacked by those 2. But as long as he draws them away from Vanessa... Let's see. Although I like loot to take out a few more of these guys, but... I don't know. When I was practicing this, I ended up having Joshua go on a mountain at one point, and then he was pretty much unhittable. Kind of all depends on how the situation goes, because in this case, I doubt loot's getting to that guy. And as tempting as that fort is, I don't like the idea of Franz getting attacked by... Actually, he'll get attacked by the halberd guy there, so not at all. But yeah, he'll get potentially attacked by 5 enemies on that fort, so definitely not a good idea. Actually, speaking of not a good idea, I need to... Remember how I said before that these forests, roadblocking cavalry can be a good thing for you later? This is why. This guy is not being roadblocked by the forest, though, so I need to be careful of him. Just deciding what I should do here. It's looking more and more like Joshua killing this guy is a good idea. Although, at this point, honestly, Erica kind of needs the experience more. She has to use the rapier to guarantee the kill, and I don't really like that. Okay, so what can Joshua do if he doesn't? Joshua could potentially lure 2 of those guys, but Franz is better in the tanking department, so I'd rather him do that. Or that could leave Franz free to go back and try and fight some of these ones, but I like to have Franz on this front, because I need to kill all of these enemies pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure nobody's able to attack Erica if she kills that guy. Watch out for that Cavalier, though. Once again, being forced to use the rapier. This could miss. And it did, okay. Should mention that Shamans have a really awesome critical animation, which hopefully I don't see on the enemy side. But it does look very cool. You would see that a lot more in FE7 because that's stupid. I think his name is Zoldam. I hate that boss so much. Mainly because he has Luna, which is completely stupid. I'll be talking about Luna later in this playthrough once we actually see it. And realize just, it's pretty amusing how much that got nerfed. Okay, I think I'll send Franz there. He should be fine. And then that Cavalier right there, I can just move Natasha over here, and let's just bring the light back, because it's more for the experience than anything else, but also to reveal a couple more Oh yeah, that archer. Gotta be careful. Wow, he'd be attacked by 6 enemies on that fort. Definitely good I didn't send him there. Oh yeah, now the question is whether or not to have Ross go up there. 6 defense. And you have 16, so it'll take like 10 and 10. I think there's like a mage or something around here. Yeah, you sort of have to rely on memory quite a bit when you do these Fog of War chapters. Which is why the torch staves help. When I was doing this just on my own time on 3DS, because yeah, I had this in the 3DS Ambassador program, I forgot about that shop sold torch staves, and that me attempting this chapter without torch staves was kind of a sight to behold. I was like, what's going on here? Why is this so much harder than I remember it being? And then I realize here, of course, it's because I forgot the torch staves. Oh yeah, I forgot to factor in weapon triangle with the armor knights. Can be easy to do that sometimes, but yeah, Ross was never in any danger here. And even though his speed has not been getting very lucky, it's still good enough to double them. Speaking of doubling, Franz will hopefully double it. Yes, he did. Yeah, soldiers are pretty pathetic. I mean, in Gaiden, they're alright, but they didn't get truly amazing until Path of Radiance. That was just, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone loves Nethany. So popular that people love putting halberdiers in ROM hacks of the GBA games. I mean, I like halberdiers. Halberdiers are cool. Wish they were in more games. A lot of people wish that Donald could be a halberdier. He'd probably be really good in that class. And you go for the javelin, which has pretty much nothing of a hit rate. But now those two are lured away. Oh yeah, they're gonna just chuck their javelins and be annoying. At least they can't run after using a javelin like they could if this was Path of Radiance. Though still not as annoying as, weirdly enough, allied cavaliers who would just run... Anytime they even get slightly damaged in that game, they would just run everywhere using their vulneraries and cantoing, and that just... it just got really, really irritating. So we're almost here, but you want to rescue the child first, which is probably what they tell you if this was a real-life situation as well, but it's not just because of that. It's actually because she is the one that's first in the path of the spider. I made that terrible, terrible mistake one time I was attempting this chapter, and I rescued I think the man first, and... oh, no speed. Oh well, no strength either, which is pretty bad. So anyway, I am going to grab you and start running. And this is the part where things can get a little bit annoying, because I like to ferry some of them off to Colum, so that she can quickly go and grab the next one. Speaking of annoying, there's these two. Okay, Luke can kill you. And Luke can one-round you, which is pretty actually good, because... alright, there is the archer there. Yeah, I don't really trust Joshua on that fort if he gets hit too much. Yeah, I'd rather just, even though it's not favourable terrain, lure them individually like that. Yeah, I'm actually going to do this just because, even though it puts Luke far away from the action, she is one of the few people who can reach these cavaliers now. She is really only doubling them because their javelins are so heavy, but yeah. When I was practicing this chapter, Luke did not gain magic, which was weird. Hey, she did this time. I mean, no speed, but she's still getting pretty decent gains. This guy, though, he needs to... I mean, actually, if he attacks Loot, it's probably fine. And then this Troubadour is pretty much free experience at this point, even though, I was talking about that thing, class power, earlier on. So Troubadours have really low class power. Enemy healers do, like this, which is why they don't give much experience at all when you kill them. Which makes sense, because they're completely defenseless, but... If I do that, though, then Joshua is very likely to end up getting... I doubt you two will even be able to hit him, but I don't like the idea of... See, bows are very, very accurate, even on that forward. But I can't send Franz there, because if I do that, then obviously bad things will happen. Oh yeah, that square there is going to attract all three of them. I could go there, and then... Oh yeah, then I get attacked by three things as well. This is an annoying thing about this chapter. The enemies cover each other quite well. And they also cover each other's weapon types quite well, like I was saying. Actually, okay, that's only a tiny increase in evasion. I mean, Joshua's defense is actually not bad for me. This is... I don't like this, but... You can't reach from there. I'm gonna go for it. I trust Joshua. Let's hope my trust is not misplaced, but yes, I trust Joshua for now. Oh, hey, an Iron Blade, which he can actually use. Wait, 12, though. Only one more might than a Steel Sword as well. And they're both D-ranked. Yeah. For the most part, the blade weapons are actually pretty terrible. Silver blades are kind of interesting just because of their sheer power, but you don't get those for a very long time. And there's really only one person who can effectively... Wait a minute, I just realized something. You have an Iron Sword. I mean, you're still not going to kill Loot anyway. As I was saying, so there's really only one character you get who can effectively use blades. Like, who has enough con for a sword user to do that. And he is pretty amazing in his own right, but for the most part, blades are terrible. They're really cool in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, because weapon weight there is based on your strength stat, and because of that, any physical fighter never needs to worry about weight past, like, level 5. The downside is that magic users, yeah, they don't handle heavy weapons well at all in that game. Like, really, yeah, just... Magic in general is not that great in Ike's games. Maybe that's kind of deliberate, because Ike himself does not like magic at all. It's one of his few weaknesses. Alright, if I do that, then... yeah, no, Franz will get attacked by a bunch of things. I was just trying to see if I could kill that guy. Yeah, and it won't even kill him anyway. I'll... wait. Pretty sure... No, Natasha can't get attacked, so I'm just going to have... Go on standby. Let me just quickly see what the turn number is. Turn 5. So the spider is almost here. This sounds really ominous, but you'll see what I'm talking about eventually. You stay there, because I'm pretty sure you're the only thing that's standing between that guy and attacking some more people. Wow, Ross is being a dodge machine here. I would appreciate more speed, though. Okay, so those are all cleared out. That's good. Oh, wow, 0 hit rate. Yeah. Didn't need to worry about these axe users at all. Of course, you always get the critical on the second hit, don't you? These guys have suddenly become FE6 axe users. Gaining defense is pretty good, actually. This is a pretty good Joshua. You don't even have here. Okay, so you're about to see a very annoying thing about the drop system in this game. So watch this. The halberd was green before, right? Yay, I only got an iron axe. So how the weapon drop system works is enemies will drop whatever's the last thing in their inventory. When they equip a weapon, it moves up to being the first... Wow, you actually went for Seth. That's weird. It moves up to being the first thing in their inventory, and so they won't drop it. If that guy didn't have an iron axe as well as a halberd, you would have been guaranteed to get the halberd drop, so I'm kind of annoyed they set it up that way, actually. Speaking of annoying, I'm going to need, if Luke misses there, I'm going to need to have Seth kill that guy. But, yeah, that's something unfortunate about the drop system in this game. The other unfortunate thing is, if an enemy thief steals from multiple chests in a single chapter, if you kill them, you only recover one of the items. So, stopping thieves before they loot chests at all is really, really important in the GBA games. Now, as I was saying, so you give, and next turn you'll be able to rescue some more people. Now, if I drop the child here, she's pretty much 100% safe. It's not 100% safe as this foggy area, because I know there are more enemies up there. Ah, can't get on that mountain. Actually, can you one round with a javelin? Yes, you can. Well, provided you hit both of them. So yeah, in order to be guaranteed to get the halberd here, you pretty much... Yeah, hi there, Mr. Archer. You pretty much have to make sure that you attack that guy before he attacks you. Because the AI is spiteful and will just make sure he's not equipping the good weapon and... Well, I mean, not so much just rare weapon, I guess. Halberds are pretty heavy. They're really good against the things they're good against, though. So we can see the boss now. And I knew there was a mage up here. He also has Thunder, which has a higher crit rate than most usual magic. And there's Navala, the boss. We pretty much knew that about him already. Clearing out this many of the enemies before the spiders have even shown up. That's quite good, actually. Not going to move Ross into magic. Oh yeah, there's that guy there. Yeah, he's not going to do much. Okay, then. I got worried for a second because my cat just stepped on top of the Wii U, but I don't think she's in any danger of knocking it down or anything. I don't like loot being so far away from the action, but speaking of far away from the action, I'm so far that I don't think I'll be able to reveal the spider with a torch staff. The spider's going to be showing up soon, though. Hi there, Archer. In some of my attempts, I've been able to lure that guy from across the mountains right at the very beginning, but that usually requires Seth and or Franz to stay far away from the main front lines here. Okay, so the spider is still not here. Now I'm going to prioritize the ones who are furthest forward, because the spider will show up from around there. You know, let's see what happens if I move Colin here. Ah, yes, there's the spider. There he is. He's very, very slow. They're like bandits. They can cross peaks, but only one tile at a time. I'll talk more about this thing once we actually start fighting it, but those stat caps are pretty high. This one is not too tough, but later in the game, those things are very, very dangerous. Oh, there's a soldier there. Yeah, I had a feeling there was something around there that I was missing. There's a mage up there. Gotta be careful of that mage. But you can finish off that archer easily. That's probably in range of the mage, isn't it? Well, this will almost certainly reveal everyone that we can possibly see. And another level up, nice. No magic, though. Okay, so he's up there. How much crit do you have? Oh yeah, Ross is going to avoid a critical from you anyway. You can't double that priest, really? Ah! Oh, you've got exactly equal speed, that's why. I'll just hit you. Actually, not fully sure who I'm going to try and fight the boss with. I would do it with Loot, but the problem is that she, just realized something. I can get loot into the action faster by doing that. But yeah, she has weapon triangle disadvantage against the boss, who I'm pretty sure, I'm really, really hoping doesn't move, because if he does, I've screwed this up big time. Yeah, so at this point, if the girl was still where she started the map at, she would scream now. That's your indication that you need to rescue her in one turn or she's going to die. What are you even doing? Yeah, I'm gonna have to... Right. Because we want all three of them to survive. If worst comes to worst, you can actually just have Vanessa roadblock the spider. He's not much of a threat to her. I like how I'm calling the spider a he for some reason. Not much of a threat to her as long as... Like, even if she's rescuing someone, is what I meant to say. There's a thicket there. For some reason, thickets are completely impassable. Just as long as you just have someone roadblock the spider, the NPCs are pretty much safe. Which is what I'm probably going to have to do now. Because I do not want the spider reaching the man. I'm going to see if I can have Ross kill it. But of course, you don't have to kill the spider, because this is a defeat boss mission, so once the boss is down, the spider just stops attacking for some reason. Which, when you think about it, doesn't really make all that much sense, but, oh well. That soldier is annoyingly positioned. I can't attack him with Ross without putting him in range of the boss. My cat is now watching the screen. And the mage will... actually, this is why I gave Moulder a heal staff. And level up. Okay, let's see if I can... Well, actually, that's not bad. Actually, that 2% crit is terrifying. I probably should have not done that. That could have ended very badly. I just don't like to take my chances with low percent criticals at all. Because they... You do tend to get them quite a bit sometimes. My rule of thumb is always, if somebody can... Wow! That was a bizarre level up. Ross has not been doing well this playthrough. Okay, I'm just going to drop loot off right here. And that was everyone. So here is the Bale, otherwise known as what non-Australians think Australian wildlife looks like. I've always wanted to make that reference. Oh, here's the boss. I do like this guy's battle dialogue. But yeah, just speaking as an Australian, while it's important to know that there are really dangerous spiders out there, most of them are really timid and generally won't try and hurt you unless you, like, outright try and kill them. Like, they're all really scared of humans for the most part, and, like, honestly, you scare them far more than they are scaring you. Plus, with how good the Australian healthcare system is, no one's died to spider bites in many, many years. But yes, that was your random facts about Australia for today. From a museum that I saw, apparently more people are killed every year by horses than by snakes or spiders. And this is a very weird tangent, but while we're on the subject, I know a lot of people are terrified of cassowaries, which are considered some of the most lethal birds ever, but the only recorded fatality to cassowaries was because people were complete idiots and tried to beat one to death with clubs. So yeah, general rule with Australian wildlife, if you leave them alone, they will probably leave you alone. I could kill this boss now, but killing the spider is very tempting. Although Josh was going to take a while to get there. Okay, I'm going to at least... Let's also see if we can get a little bit of healing experience. And I'm going to at least try to kill the spider, I guess. This is kind of going against my own advice, but these spiders are magical demonic spiders. And so trying to kill them is fine. Because these ones will attack you without provoking them. And another dodge there. Another dodge there for you. It only causes poison if it hits you. Something to note is those poison claws are not exclusive to spiders. Revenants and Entomb can use them as well. You'll sometimes see Revenants and Entomb with them later on in the game. And then I can drop. Now, if somehow this goes horribly wrong and the spider is able to attack the Renee's sits, actually it definitely won't be here, that's fine. I could have just killed the boss and ended the chapter, but let's see if some people need some more experience, and then I just want to just try and get the spider. Completely unnecessary, but it's at least a little bit of extra experience, and it's admittedly kind of satisfying. Oh, right, you have an elixir that you drop on being killed. I forgot about that. Okay, killing you is actually a good thing. Okay, that's decent. Probably shouldn't have used the killing edge there, but anyway. Yeah, let's see if I can finish you off. There we go, no more spider. We will be seeing far more of those later in the game, and they are actually pretty dangerous. Yeah, there's the power of Weapon Triangle, or, well, Magic Trinity, as it's called, for magic for some reason. You cannot hide from me. I will take that partially used elixir from you. And Franz can't finish it. Pfft, and he missed anyway. Well, I guess Seth has to do it then. I just want that. No, don't use that. And there we go, there's the elixir. The problem here is that if I do this and either of them misses, then Loot is going to die. Yeah, I'm going to just let Loot make the first move here. Like, this is completely inefficient, but I'm just wanting to try and rig the experience here a little bit. Because I can take the time to mention how the Sacred Stone's normal boss theme, I actually quite like this one. There's an even better... Well, actually, every single boss theme in this game is amazing. But the one we're going to hear later is particularly amazing. And yes, you will kill Ross if he misses that. And nobody's in any kind of decent position to heal him. So I'm going to have to be inefficient again. I suppose it means more experience for Vanessa. I mean, Natasha. I had I attempted to record Chapter 5 when I was really, really tired, and I kept calling Natasha Vanessa. like, constantly throughout the entire chapter, and that's why I decided to scrap that attempt and record it again. Like, I completed the chapter, but I also called... anyway, I also called Joshua Ross at one point. That I had no excuse for at all. Now, please tell me that was worth it. No speed, but at least you got a few other good stats. So, this scene only happens if you saved all 3 of the civilians. So, you get a reward for that. It's funny how she says both. The man apparently isn't important because he doesn't even appear in the scene. With that, we get into Ryan's bolts. If you're not planning on promoting Namie, you can just sell that now, because she's the only one you will ever need that for. And as long as you get that, you'll never need to buy them from secret shops. So, finally, Seth is spilling the beans. Yes, the bracelet, surprise surprise, has an important secret. Yeah, he already explained that earlier. But here's the twist. And that's why the bracelets are important. A lot of people do find this plot point a bit weird because their father should have known that Erica and Ephraim are not the kind of people who would misuse the Sacred Stone, so there didn't seem to be much reason to not tell them besides just conflict. But it seems that Grotto knows that. So, who would have found that out? And yeah, because he has one of the bracelets, he is a pretty big target for them. So, we're approaching the final act of the first part of the game. One thing that I want to bring up here is that there's another change from the beta version of the game in terms of the story. For some reason in the beta version, so I'm guessing the boss would have survived your fight with him because the boss of this chapter would have been killed by a scripted critical from a character who we've seen a cameo of before, but haven't officially met yet. He would have come in and killed the boss with a scripted critical. I'm not sure what he was doing here. He probably would have had a bit bigger of a story role in the beta version, but yeah, that's what happened, and it was changed here, but at least we're thankful that we actually can save the civilians now. So, next time, we'll be approaching the end of the first part of the game. So, see you then.